McLaren is without any doubt one of the most innovative supercar manufacturers on the market. It was founded in 1963 by the New Zealand-born driver Bruce McLaren and debuted at the Monaco Grand Prix in 1965. Here are 15 interesting facts you probably did not know about the McLaren Motor Company. McLaren's longest employee is Ray Rowe, which retired in 2020 after 55 years on the team. Ray Tex Rowe joined McLaren in 1965 as employee number 8 after moving from Cooper to set up work in a shed in London. Quote, "We were getting ready for Formula 1 and building our first Grand Prix car. That was our main project. The chassis started off as a test car and was all done in secret and was still in the preparatory stages when I went there." McLaren still has around 6 employees who joined the company in the 1970s and even more who joined in the 1980s. The McLaren Technology Center is located in Woking, Surrey and consists in more than 5,000 tons of steelwork in a space large enough to house 9 jumbo jets. The lake from McLaren Technology Center is almost 3 meters deep and contains more than 50,000 cubic meters of water. The artificial lake surrounding the building pumps the water through heat exchangers, which cool down the building and its electrics, as well as dissipating the heat produced by the wind tunnel. You have to push a lawnmower for 20 miles to mow the turf just once at McLaren Technology Center. From May to September, it is cut twice a week. That means approximately 9,234 miles of lawn has been mowed since the center opened in 2004. David Coolheart is the longest-serving McLaren driver and is 5th on the team's all-time list. He raced for McLaren from 1996 to 2004 and had a total of 150 Grand Prix starts. Bruce McLaren won his first race at 15. McLaren's founder was only 13 years old when his father purchased a 1929 Austin Ulster. As the car arrived mostly in pieces, young McLaren begged his father to keep the car and let him turn it into a race car. 2 years later, he ended up winning his first race at Muriwai Beach Hill Climb. The first McLaren logo had a Kiwi. Bruce McLaren came from New Zealand, where the small and flightless Kiwi is its country's national bird. McLaren wanted to reflect its New Zealand roots, so he added the Kiwi birds to the company logo. However, as McLaren started to become a more global company, the original logo ended up being replaced by a more widely appealing design. The first road car ever built by McLaren was the McLaren F1. With a 6.1 V12 engine producing 627 horsepower, the car was capable of 0 to 60 miles per hour in 3.2 seconds and could reach a top speed of 240 miles per hour. Even today, it's still considered the fastest normally aspirated production car in the world. Every McLaren F1 car contains 16 grams of gold. As the 6.1-liter BMW engine produced a lot of heat, the McLaren F1 has a gold foil-lined engine bay in order to reflect the heat away from the carbon fiber of the body. McLaren pioneered carbon fiber. Until 1981, most cars made only partial use of the carbon fiber. This changed with the creation of McLaren's MP4-1, which came with a monocoque design, meaning that the chassis and the body of the car were the same piece. It was light, strong, and able to withstand heavy impacts. It even had a crash at 140 miles per hour, where the driver was able to walk away from. The McLaren F1 came with plenty convenience features. The car had an air conditioning system, which was a rarity at the time. It also had an electric defrost demist windscreen and side glass, remote central locking system and a Kenwood 10-disc stereo system. Owners also received branded luggage bags as a gift. In addition to these features, the car also had a 3-seat configuration with a steering wheel instrument panel located in the middle. Nowadays, a configuration like this is not possible due to airbag regulations. Bruce McLaren died in a car crash. At only 32 years old, the founder of the company died after crashing a prototype car in 1970 at Can-Am Racing Series. As he was racing down the track, the back end detached from the vehicle at high speed, sending the car adrift. He crashed into a flag station and was killed instantly. The McLaren MP4-98T was a 2-seater Formula 1 car. The unusual racing vehicle was created for the sole purpose of allowing special guests and celebrities to experience the stunning performance of an F1 car. The MP4-98T had great reinforcements for increased safety of its crew and was equipped with a Mercedes V10 engine producing 760 horsepower. Among the most prominent guests are the King Juan Carlos I from Spain, American actor Michael Douglas, and the Ukrainian athlete Sergei Babka. During the 2011 Monaco Grand Prix, McLaren led their 10,000th Formula 1 race lap. Jenson Button drove the historic lap, reaching the milestone on the 70th tour. The McLaren Technology Center doubles as a museum. The beautiful building has an amazing architecture that resembles the Chinese yin-yang symbol. While it's used as McLaren's headquarters, it also doubles as a museum, with 25 historic McLaren cars spread around the building and 632 trophies. The McLaren M23 was the most successful race car of its time. It was debuted in 1973 and ended up winning 16 Grand Prix victories in a span of 4 years. The first McLaren driver to do the treble of race win, pole position, and fastest lap was none other than James Hunt at the United States Grand Prix in 1976. Ayrton Senna was the most successful driver McLaren had. He has had 46 pole positions from 1988 to 1993 until leaving the team in 1994 to join Williams. The McLaren MP4 12C was based on the Ferrari 360. When McLaren started developing the 12C, they secretly purchased the Ferrari 360 as a test build. It was used to test the 3.8-liter twin-turbocharged V8 engine. The MP4 12C was the first model made by the company after the 1998 McLaren F1. They supply parts to NASCAR. NASCAR is the second largest motor racing entity after Formula 1. In 2012, NASCAR has switched from carburetors to fuel injection, creating a need for a new ECU. McLaren delivered a new ECU that could be found in every NASCAR car at that time. McLaren Speedtail is the fastest McLaren ever produced. The Speedtail is McLaren's most aerodynamically efficient car and the fastest McLaren to date. The 1055 horsepower hypercar can reach a top speed of 250 miles per hour and claims a 0 to 186 miles per hour time in 13 seconds. There's an animation series produced by McLaren. The TV series is called Tune 50 and had broadcasted 30 episodes for the company's YouTube channel. Among the series, the stars include drivers Jenson Button and Fernando Alonso. The leather used in the McLaren F1 has been shaved to half its usual thickness in order to save weight. As a result, this technique saved a mere 5 kilograms. Among the equipment used by McLaren for a race, the team has 2 complete cars, 1 spare chassis, 5 sets of front and rear wings, 80 front and rear wheels, 2 overhead garage modules, and many more. Their fleet of vehicles includes 7 lorries which carry the racing equipment and 50 lorries which transport the hospitality unit. In the 1966 season, Bruce McLaren was assisted by a total of only 4 employees. In contrast to the latest seasons, McLaren sends around 50 employees to races, including the drivers, engineers, mechanics, and support crew. Bruce McLaren broke several Grand Prix records. McLaren won the American Grand Prix in 1959 when he was only 22 years old, making him the youngest driver to ever win a Formula 1 Grand Prix. This record was surpassed by Fernando Alonso when he won the race at Hungary in 2003 at only 21 years old. They loan out F1 engines. If your McLaren's F1's engine needs to be rebuilt, McLaren will loan you a functional engine that you can use for the duration of the repair. So if you ever own a McLaren, you can be assured that you will be well taken care of by the company. McLaren F1 has a computer-controlled airbrake. The McLaren F1 was the most advanced car of its time. Amongst the features, the car came with a computer-controlled airbrake that balances load across the car to ensure that the F1 remains stable when braking hard. Bruce McLaren was one of the 3 drivers that crossed the line at Le Mans in 1966. As seen in the movie Ford vs Ferrari, 3 Ford GT40s crossed the line simultaneously. The winner of the race was Bruce McLaren himself, followed by Ken Miles and Ronnie Bucknam. A McLaren F1 car has been sold in 2021 for $20.5 million, becoming the most expensive McLaren F1 ever sold. The original price of the F1 was $800,000 in the mid-1990s. Jay Leno stated that his F1 was the best investment he ever made. McLaren raced in a total of 31 countries and 6 different continents. The southernmost point ever raced was Melbourne, while the northernmost point was the Swedish Grand Prix held at Anderstorp. Each race car contains 48 logos, which get replaced regularly. In addition, 1000 liters of chrome paint is used per year for the car. McLaren's first win from pole start was achieved by Emerson Fittipaldi at the 1974 Brazilian GP. In 1983, John Watson had won the race at Long Beach after he qualified 22 on the grid. He was followed by Niki Lauda on the second place after he started on the 23rd place. Since it had been opened in 2004, the McLaren Technology Center receives around 185 visitors per day. The McLaren Speedtail uses high-definition digital cameras instead of side mirrors that glide out of the doors in order to reduce the drag coefficient. The first McLaren road car was created in 1970. Bruce McLaren wanted to take his racing expertise to the road. He created a prototype by merging the M6P chassis with an M6 GT body and a Chevrolet engine. McLaren Production Center was built in 2011 and features a 700-seat restaurant, a coffee bar, a swimming pool and a fitness center. Navigation through the building is through corridors, suspended bridges and cylindrical elevator shafts. When it was launched in 2011, the MP412C was insanely fast. It could hit 60 miles per hour in 2.8 seconds and come to a complete stop from 124 miles per hour in under 5 seconds. The 903 horsepower McLaren P1 can be driven in fully electric mode. In addition to the 3.8-liter V8 engine, the car also has an electric engine that produces 177 horsepower. It can be driven in fully electric mode for about 30 miles. The truck-oriented McLaren Senna can create up to 800 kilograms of downforce. With its massive rear spoiler, the car produces a downforce of 800 kilograms at 250 kilometers per hour through the use of active aerodynamics.